God I set all this up? Look at my Mario. Is that good? Oh no, you can see the reflection. Alright. Best intro ever. Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is Sackboy, and today my mic's still shaking, so I'm sorry about that. But there was an announcement just now, and it means a lot of things, and there are a lot of things that it could possibly entail, good and bad, and everywhere in between. And I got a lot of things to say and a lot of opinions, so if you are new here, hi, my name is Sackboy, and I talk about creative video games, largely including Little Big Planet and Dreams, the former of which is why we're here today, because oh my goodness, that is a huge announcement. Now, initially it may seem like this announcement, which by the way, if you haven't watched, definitely go watch that, that Little Big Planet is no longer Little Big Planet, but now Sackboy's Adventure is the new series. Now, I want to say absolutely right away that that is not the case. I don't think that this is another Little Big Planet game, but I kind of think that Little Big Planet might be on hiatus for right now. And kind of, there's like two places we can go from here. So, yeah, like I said, definitely go watch that if you haven't seen it, because I'm going to be spoiling all of the little tidbits they showed in there. But to give a very brief overview, this new game, Sackboy's Adventure, or whatever it's called, I'll put a title card up here, but I am literally right after the stream filming this with no notes, so hopefully you enjoy that. But this game is going to be a up to four player, I believe, platformer created by Sumo Digital, the same people that made Little Big Planet 3, and it looks wonderful, and it looks very cute, and it looks very Little Big Planet, and that's really important and really exciting, but we'll talk about that more in a second. What this is not, as far as we can tell so far, is another Little Big Planet game, partially because it's lacking the title, but also because they showed no possibilities of creating, which is very weird because that's kind of been like a third of the game in Little Big Planet. And that's very strange to me, but it's also not super weird. And so let's talk about those two paths I mentioned earlier. Sumo Digital with this game really could have gone one of two ways with Little Big Planet, and it's possible that they are still working on Little Big Planet 4, but for right now I'm just going off of what we've seen. And the first path that I want to talk about is that Sackboy's Adventure is the first in what will become a series of games that involve Sackboy, but kind of abandon the play, create, share model that Media Molecule came up with Little Big Planet, in Little Big Planet 1 and 2, and then, of course, Sumo Digital made Little Big Planet 3. But if they decide to go this route, that means we're probably not going to see a Little Big Planet 4. And I think that this is actually a pretty good idea for Sumo Digital, but I'm also incredibly disappointed and saddened to think that this could be where we're going from here. For one, it would be very, very exciting if they could put all of their creative effort, which we've seen absolutely in Little Big Planet 3, even if you were frustrated about the glitches in that, you cannot deny that those worlds were incredibly imaginative. And taking all of that creativity and their effort and not really focusing on the creation aspect and having to dump so much time into that, and being able to put all of that effort into the creativity of making a new Sackboy platforming game, which is honestly all I really was looking for in Little Big Planet 4 was kind of an enhancement of the creativity stuff, which we'll talk about in a second, but the most exciting part was I just really wanted another Little Big Planet story at this point. And we've seen that with the spin-off games, that it has worked and it has been fun, if not as fun as Little Big Planet, but I think that this is a completely different story. Again, if we are on this path where Little Big Planet 4 really is not in the works right now, and this kind of is the evolution of them taking Sackboy in a more storytelling, platforming, mascot type of way, I'm pretty happy about that because I think it would make it a lot of fun. But I'm also very disappointed because the other path that they could have gone on, and that they may still be on at this point, is to create this just as a side story, just as a side game, just like they did with Little Big Planet karting, and like Media Molecule has done with their other games that don't involve Sackboy. They haven't been working on Dreams this entire time because obviously they have the Tearaway series and all of its intricacies. And that is obviously not part of the Dreams or Little Big Planet universe, but I thought it was worth mentioning because obviously we know that Sumo Digital is not just good at creating create tools. In fact, Well, quite a few out there would probably say they're not even good at that, but I'm not particularly on that train. I really enjoyed Little Big Planet 3, I will say that. But again, I really do wish we could get a Little Big Planet 4, so if they are on this second path, I hope that this does really count as a spin-off game, gives them some time to flex their creativity muscles a little bit further, with a little bit more time, and on top of that, gives all of us a really cool 3D Little Big Planet game. And I think that regardless of which path that they're on, anybody that is a fan of Little Big Planet in general might be maddened by the fact that there's no create and there's no share options, which is such a big part of the Little Big Planet series. But obviously, we don't just love Little Big Planet for that create mode and that share mode. I see a lot of people that miss the heart and soul that Little Big Planet had, myself included, and that's not to say that Dreams doesn't have that. Dreams definitely has a heart and a soul of its own, but it's separate, it's different, and it's not the Little Big Planet heart and soul that we loved. There's no greater or lesser, it's just different. And to see the idea that Dreams could replace Little Big Planet, although for them I think it would make sense to let Dreams kind of take over as that play, create, share model, given it already has all these other options, and there's not really a reason for Sumo Digital to keep expanding on a system that was created by a company that has now come out with the system they think was the system they wanted to create initially. If the logic follows there, Media Molecule created the create system within Little Big Planet, but then after Little Big Planet 2 took a break and completely made a new system that outdoes everything they've done before, with more options and more possibilities than any Little Big Planet at all. So it would make sense for them to get rid of the play or of the create and share options within Little Big Planet and not work on evolving that create system anymore, to focus on Dreams while still keeping Sackboy and the heart and soul of the Little Big Planet series alive. Yes, it's going to feel very weird, and that's why I don't really like this possible decision, which again, they haven't said they're making, and they very well still may make a Little Big Planet 4, but there are just... Part of the heart and soul of Little Big Planet was that create and share model, and that's what made the whole DIY look of the first game and parts of the second and third game so interesting and so intriguing, was because it really was DIY, and all of these were created, and they were extra impressive because they were created using the tools that, again, then you could go use. I'm hoping that the creativity and the uniqueness of this new Sackboy's Adventure game does match that and exceed it significantly, because without, like I said, all the time they're spending on the create and share aspects, it should be a lot better and a lot more in-depth than the stories we've seen in Little Big Planet. And honestly, I think those stories stand on their own, and that's why some people buy those games and completely ignore the create and share modes, but I don't know. It's confusing as to where we're going to go from here, and although it would make sense that they do drop the share and create sections of Little Big Planet to focus on Dreams and allow Sackboy to continue as a 3D platformer mascot, or just a wider mascot altogether, the other 8 that they've had. Ratchet & Clank was also shown today, or Jak and Daxter, the ones that they've abandoned before for some reason, but I don't know. I think Sackboy's one of the few that's caught on to the extent that even Super Mario does, so we'll see where they go from here, but regardless, I would prefer this to no game at all, and so I'm very happy to see Sackboy on the PlayStation 5. I don't even know if I want to go into what the console looks like, because I'm very conflicted. I think it looks cool. I'm glad it's not just a small box that's either black or white. And the fins are interesting and make it look really cool, but then my brain thinks, well, if there are fins there, it could be smaller because the fins don't have any technology in them. If they do, and if it's part of the cooling system, heck yes, I would be excited to see how that plays out. And that would kind of solve the issue of me looking at it and thinking, this is unnecessary, why do this? Even though the other part of my brain is thinking, oh, this is so cool, it looks like alien technology. But anyways, I'm very, very excited for this Little Big Planet game. I'm nervous at what it might entail, but do not get me wrong, and I know a lot of people didn't watch till now, so you probably won't see this, but I am very excited because it looks fun, and it's 4-player. And thank goodness it's 4-player. Why do games keep switching to not 4-player? I realized that I only have 3 other friends, but when they're all together, what do you expect me to do? Okay, I need to end this video because I'm not editing this, and this could be a mess if I don't do it right. But a weird thing, this is a new setup. I already filmed a video here kind of introducing this new setup. If you would like to see me talk about it more, let me know. But regardless, if you did like this video, feel free to leave a like down below, and feel free to subscribe to my channel, but no pressure as always. For now, let me know how the lighting is, because I think I look very dim here, but yeah, we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye. Oh my god. Oh, I just hit the mic.